Hello, my name is Emma Rinaldo, and I'm a social worker at the Peter Gilgan Centre for Women's Cancers and the Breast Centre at Women's College Hospital. Are you looking for help in talking to your children or your family members about a BRCA mutation? In this video, we will explore how to assess parent and child readiness and how to start conversations while considering things like timing and the environment. We will provide helpful communication tips to use with your children and family, and we will interact with tools to help guide conversations. Let's start with taking a look at parent and child readiness. What do I mean by parent readiness? Well, ask yourself, are you ready to have this talk? Here are some ways you can find out. Most people feel ready when they have a good understanding of their BRCA mutation. They have met with a genetic counselor, a family physician, and/or oncologist, and they have had time to process the impact of the BRCA diagnosis. And they may feel comfortable and confident to begin having the talk. How do you know if you are comfortable with starting the talk? Let's take a look at some signs of comfort and discomfort. Signs of comfort. You feel calm when you talk about the BRCA mutation. You feel positive about the medical decisions you have made. You feel confident that you do what you can to avoid cancer. You feel like the future holds more promise than the past. You believe that knowledge is power. And you feel confident that your child can handle it. Signs of discomfort. It is unbearable to think about the fact that your child may inherit the BRCA mutation. You may feel very emotional when thinking about your child's future. You try to avoid thinking or talking about it. You often feel worried, guilty, fearful, or angry about your family's BRCA mutation. Please note, you do not need to be experiencing all of these signs. Do not worry if you feel discomfort at this time. It is normal and understandable to have many emotions. Consider what you may need to help you become more comfortable. It is also important to ensure that you are emotionally prepared and that you have processed the impact of the BRCA mutation on your life. Some people find it helpful to write down their thoughts and feelings. Consider asking yourself the following questions. Are you emotionally prepared to share the information with your child? Think about, how have you been shaped by your experience with the BRCA mutation? How have you been affected by cancer in your life? How do you feel about having inherited the BRCA mutation? Take a look inward and be aware of your own feelings. Thinking about passing on a BRCA mutation can lead to complicated feelings of guilt, sadness, or anger. Remember that processing emotions and gathering information is an ongoing process. Now let's explore child readiness. It is important to consider who your child is and what stage of life they are in. Consider developmental stages to help guide and approach your conversation. For elementary children aged 6 to 12, they are gaining new skills, developing relationships with friends, learning about rules and fairness, and they may believe that their thoughts have power to cause illness. They may feel illness is contagious. They can sense if something is not quite right in the family, which can create symptoms of anxiety. For adolescents aged 13 to 18, they are gaining intellectual maturity. They are emotionally immature, becoming independent, developing a unique identity, and they believe that their friends are very important. They can also pick up on energy and often know if something is not right in the family dynamic. For early adults aged 18 plus, they are going through a transitional time, gaining independence and responsibility, and still need family support. They appreciate honesty and like to feel included. Now, let's explore tips around communicating with children and family members. It is important to consider the following general principles. Children value being included in important conversations. It is important for children to get information honestly, in plain language, and from the source. Many children are aware of important issues from an early age. Be strong and positive when speaking with children, and stress how lucky you feel to be empowered with information that can keep you healthy. It is important to consider when, where, who, and how information will be shared between children. Remember to lean on past experience with sharing difficult news. Consider how your child typically absorbs information and how they are best supported. Here are a few communication guidelines. Follow your child's cues. Keep it simple. Welcome questions and know it is okay to not know the answer. Remember that children learn as much from what we do as what we say. Correct common myths with factual information. Evaluate the impact of the conversation. Check in frequently. And remember that the conversation is ongoing. When you talk to family members, consider these strategies. Think about who needs to know about the BRCA mutation. Think about who you would like to tell about the BRCA mutation. Make 2 lists, one of people you feel need to know and one of people you would like to tell. If you have a family member who does not want to talk about the BRCA mutation, remember that your views and your family's views may not align, and not everyone's reactions will be the same. You can encourage them to share their feelings, but don't force the conversation to happen. They may need more time or more information. Consider making written information available to them, such as a link to the National Society of Genetic Counselors or the FORCE website. Now let's look at planning the first talk. You can use an activity that I created to help guide you. This activity will help with planning what you want to say or do before the talk, preparing how you want to get the talk started, looking at how you can recognize emotions, preparing for common questions, and deciding how you will check in with your child or family member after the first talk. Now remember, this is a process and it will take time. Do not rush or place judgment on yourself. Take the time you need to become comfortable and confident with discussing the BRCA mutation. If you would like to learn more about any of the topics covered in this video, the Peter Gilgan Centre for Women's Cancers offers free patient education in the form of seminars and other resources. Please visit our website for more information.